Hi everybody and welcome to Arts and Crafts. Today we're going to be making recycled plastic flowers. It's not totally recycled because these cups that we're using for the make and take kits that I'm using, and maybe even what you're using at home, they're new cups. They're not ones that anybody drank out of already, which I think is a way better idea for with COVID, because we don't want any germs on them. So we are using brand new cups, but it's still, you're recycling, you're using it for a different purpose than it was originally intended. So there are make and take kits for this craft. They're available at the library. Hopefully you've picked one up. If you haven't, there might still be some, so you might want to run out and get some. So the first step in this project is to color your cup. And you want to use Sharpies, not markers, because Sharpies, or some kind of permanent marker. You don't want to use washable marker, you don't want to use Crayola marker, because it will come off. I colored mine already, as you can see. I did the back blue, and then I did red and pink stripes around the outside. I did not color the inside. You don't need to color the inside as long as you color the outside. You want to make it as dark as you possibly can and use as dark of colors as you possibly can. Like, I would have rather used something like this, but it really didn't show up on the cup and it didn't do me any good. So I just used darker colors and it worked out fine. And the next thing that you're going to do, and I'm going to put these glasses on and you're going to see why in a second, you have to cut slits into your cup. And you should wear some kind of eye protection or ask an adult to help you with this, just because when you cut pieces out, pieces might fly off, and you don't want that to happen, and you don't want it to get in your eye, and you don't want to get hurt. I think this plastic is thin enough that you can cut through it and pieces are not going to fly off. So if you get a make and take kit from the library, you should be okay cutting into this. You shouldn't have any problems. But if you use a cup from home that maybe is, it's thicker. Like these ones, these little ones, they're thicker and they're made of harder plastic. And when you cut into these, a little piece might fly off because of the pressure. If you get the bigger cups from the make and take it from the library, you're not going to have to worry about that. They're pretty thin and they will cut. I would still wear something over your eyes though, just in case. So the next step, each one of these is going to become a petal of your flower. So for every slit you make, the leftover piece is going to be a petal on the flower. So I ended up making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different petals. And I cut along my pink stripes. That's what I did. You don't have to do it that way. That's just how I did it. The next thing that you're going to need tin foil. You're going to need a baking sheet, and you're going to need your oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these into the kitchen downstairs at the library, and we will proceed from there for the next step. Okay, so we have the tin foil on the baking pan, we have the cup on the tin foil on the baking pan, and the oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. I should have done that before I started coloring my thing, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. I'm going to turn the oven light on so I can actually see what's happening in the oven. And I am going to put this in here. I always use pot holders, even when I'm putting it in. I'm weird like that. So we're going to close that up. And it says that it has to cook for, cook like it's food. It has to bake in there for 2 to 5 minutes. It's gonna smell. Burning plastic smells gross. So as you can already see, it's already flattened itself. So I gotta put the timer on my phone. So I'm gonna stop the video, put the timer on, and you'll see it when it comes out. So here's what it looked like when it came out. I told you didn't have to color the inside, but this is what happened. It folded in on itself, and now the inside is white, even though you saw the cup itself was clear. So it has to cool for a couple minutes before I can take it off the sheet. Perhaps this will just end up being the back side, and it doesn't matter. But we're gonna find out. This is very strange and interesting to me. So this is what we ended up with. It is not, it's cool enough. Some of the petals are still a little warm, but it's not so hot that I can't touch it. I didn't expect it to curl in on itself quite so much. So I think there's a couple of ways I could have fixed that. I could have left it in there for less time. So I put it in, and I was like talking on the video, and then I put it in for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's what I put on my timer. When it hit 30 seconds, I felt like it was in there too long, so I took it out before the timer was over, but it had already turned in on itself. So one thing about this, once it's melted, like I can't unravel this. Like it did this, and I'm stuck with this now. Like it didn't curl in on itself. So I think I could have done it for a little bit less time. And the other thing I think I would do, I put it on the sheet like this. I put the bottom on the sheet with the petals up. I wonder if I had put it like this with the petal parts facing down, if it wouldn't have curled in on itself. So I can't go back and fix it now, sadly. But that's okay. We'll just stick with it. We'll just go with it. The next and lastest part is that you're gonna put a stem on it, and you're gonna use a pipe cleaner, and you're gonna hot glue it to the back. So I have my hot glue gun. I'm just going to put a big old dot on the back, and I'm going to slide my stem into the hot glue. Whoops. And that's all there is to it. It's obviously not dry yet, so I'm not gonna hold it up by the stem. But that is all that there is to this craft. So think about those tips when you're going forward, when you're baking it. Maybe less time, and maybe put the top part, the open part, down on the sheet instead of the closed part. As always, when you're using the oven, get a parent's permission, or better yet, get a parent's help. Same for with the glue gun. So all in all, this didn't turn out too bad. It did what I wanted it to. It just did it a little more than I expected. So I wonder if different types of plastic cups would work differently too. I don't know. We would have to see, because I surely didn't expect the whole back to just go straight white. I thought it would stay clear, but it didn't. So learning experience, kind of a little bit of a STEM project too, if you really think about it. So hopefully yours come out looking a little better than mine, and you enjoyed this arts and crafts, and we'll see you next time.